And while we're in here setting up and configuring our project, let's talk for a bit about these tool shelves. Tool shelves are probably one of the most valuable Maya interface configuration customization things you can do. So let's talk about this. We've got a number here that are preset, but we can create more. Just come down here to this left side drop down and click on New Shelf. So there it is. We'll give it a name, just whatever you want. I'm going to call it My New Shelf. Click OK. And there it is. Just places it on the end of the list. Now, we can create as many as we want. We're not limited by screen real estate. But now we can start adding tools. So I'm going to go to the Polygons menu here. And we're just going to put some of our usual suspects on here. Tools that we'd have to go digging through the menus to find otherwise. So Edit Mesh. And the way you add a tool off of these lists is by holding down the Control and the Shift key, just choosing something. So there we've got our Insert Edge Loop tool, and there it is. And we'll come in here and add more. There's Offset Edge Loop tool, that's a popular one. And just keep going. You know, you've got a lot of space on here. So our Interactive Split tool. Remember, just hold down Control and Shift and just go shopping. And, you know, I'm just putting these in here. They're not necessarily in the order that I would ultimately like them, but that's okay. We're going to talk about how you move those later. Pretty darn easy to do that. So, got our Merge Vertex tool and our Extrude tool. And, you know, you can add things here like our polygon primitive cube. Again, Control Shift, there it is. And you can even add things that aren't necessarily what you would think of as geometry manipulation type things. So, for example, there's a command, a function that's often used here in the Edit menu, Delete by Type History. We can add that to our tool shelf. And that's something we'll use a little bit later, quite a lot. So that's that. You know, and again, there's a lot of space on these tool shelves, so you can add a lot of stuff. You know, you find that even though Maya has millions of settings, well, maybe not millions, but quite a few, there are just a small number that are actually what you use all the time. And everybody has their own style, so it'll be slightly different. But you know, you can wind up building just a couple of tool shelves that contain all of the functions that you use to build almost everything for your own particular style. Now, we mentioned that you can move these things around once they're here, and all you need to do for that is go to one of these tools that you've put on your tool shelf, hold down your middle mouse button, which is your scroll wheel, and just drag it around. So let's move the cube here to the left, and there it is. Now, if you have something on here you decide you don't want, you can deal with that pretty easily too. That's with the right mouse button. So you can come in here and delete it or edit it or do all kinds of things. Delete's probably the most common off of that. Now the tool shelf itself, we can also delete it once we decide we really don't like it, but that's rarely done. We can also edit the shelf. And there's all kinds of functions here on the shelf editor. You see the shelf contents on the right, and the individual shelves are listed on the left, and you can do all kinds of manipulation and changing and whatnot in this editor if that's what you'd like to use to set things up and change them. We're just going to do one fairly simple thing here, and that has to do with moving the shelf. Now, we know when we move the individual tools on the shelf, we use the middle mouse button. And intuitively then you might think, well, then I'll just use the middle mouse button and drag my shelf to the left or right. Well, that's not how it's done. It's done here in the shelf editor. You just select the shelf. The current shelf comes up by default. And then there's little buttons at the top of the left side that you can come in and just move it up. So, and by up we mean to the left. So if you look up there, it's moved over some, and you can move it all the way over to the left if you want, move it back to the right, wherever you want to place it. Okay, so again, there's lots of stuff in here. We're not going to talk about most of it. Life's too short. Just if you've actually changed the shelves, you can choose Save All Shelves. We really haven't changed the shelves, so we can just hit Close. There it is, and that's it. It's a very valuable thing to know and pretty easy to use once you've seen it once or twice. So that's it for this video, and we'll see you next time.